welcome to Behind the Music for Daily Hope. If you were in worship last week, either here in person or watching online, you learned that we started a new sermon series called The Journey of a Disciple. Now, if you haven't listened to that sermon, I'd invite you to go back and do that, because in it, Pastor Todd lays out this really good concept about how being a disciple is a journey, and it's not necessarily an A to B sort of journey. We like to think of journeys as being linear, but this journey of faith is actually cyclical, and he does a really nice job of explaining that. And so I'd invite you to go listen to that so I don't have to retell this sermon. But that is a concept that was in my mind as I was thinking about what to share with you this week. How being a disciple is not going from point A to point B. We might have some detours, and that doesn't mean we need to get disappointed. And a musical form came to mind as I was thinking about this, and that's the form of the rondo. Form is what we call music when we try and analyze it. So if we were going to analyze a hymn, we would assign some letters to it. If we had a hymn that had a verse and then a refrain, it would be A and then B, repeating A, B, like that for each verse and refrain, so on and so forth. So in a rondo form, as we look at the different sections, we would have, in its basic form, would be A, B, A, C, A, D, like that. However many times there would be a new section introduced, always coming back to this A point. So kind of going around and around like our journey of faith. Sometimes we doubt, sometimes we have faith. Sometimes we doubt, sometimes we have faith. And it just goes around and around like that, just like a rondo. So the rondo form was introduced and became very popular in the classical era. So following the Baroque period, we enter the classical period with some really famous composers. Beethoven was writing, Mozart was writing, names that everybody knows. Interestingly, even though the organ had been around for several hundred years prior to that, organists at that time were not writing for the organ. They were still playing. We know that both Beethoven and Mozart were great organists, but they were composing for a new and exciting instrument, the forte piano. And what was so exciting about this was, for the first time, keyboardists could actually play dynamics at the keyboard. Before that, the organ could only play the sound that you had pulled out. You don't play it harder and have it play louder like we know for our modern pianos. Same thing with the harpsichord. You play, the string plucks, and that's the dynamic you get. There's no dynamics like the forte piano. So they were very excited about this. Everybody was writing for it. Everybody wanted to hear it. And if you look at music from that period, there's a lot of these dynamic markings. Forte, piano, kind of doing an effect, and lots of repeats to be able to take advantage of this new and very cool thing. Now on the organ, if we want to play music from the classical period, because sometimes we want to do that, often we're playing transcriptions of either orchestral works or taking something that was written for the piano and applying it to the organ. And that's what I'm going to do this week. So because this piece has these fortes and pianos marked in, and I can't just play harder and have it play louder, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I have multiple manuals. So here on my great manual, the main manual here, I'm going to be playing the loudest. This is my next softest, and this one is going to be softer still. So when I want to do the echo effects, I'm going to be doing it here like this. Loud, less loud, quieter still. So that's how I'm going to be giving you these effects of the forte and the piano, because I'm going to play a piano piece at the organ. So the rondo form, back to the rondo form from this piece by Mozart that I'm going to be playing. It's not strictly A, B, A, C, A like a rondo, a true rondo, but it does have these sections, A, B, C, D, wanders back to A. He's kind of playing with the form a little bit. And just like our faith journey is not predictable, this piece may be a little bit unpredictable, but we always have these glimmers of the A section coming back to us, which is very cool. Now, if you studied piano ever, it's very possible that you played this piece, Rondo alla Turca. You probably recognize it. So I'm going to play a little section for you just at the beginning so you see what you hear. So that's our A section. And you heard first loud and then soft. We have our dynamics, we have our A section. Let me play a little bit of the B section for you. It also has an echo effect. I love it. I love the little echo effect going back and forth. So this weekend, as you think about your discipleship journey, what direction you're headed, what your ultimate goal is, it's very cool to apply that to the piece that I'm playing today because while we have this A, B, C, A, so on and so forth, all these different sections, at the very end, there's a coda. So we've gone through all our different sections, we've come to the end of our journey, and eternal life. We have arrived. So that's what I'm thinking of as the coda this week when I play this piece from Mozart, Sonata 11. I hope you enjoy it. It's a fun little piece. It's probably familiar to many of you, although I'm not sure you've ever heard it on the organ. And I hope just enjoy it, enjoy the fun piece, think about this wonderful journey that we're having as we continue on through Easter. And I look forward to being with you again next week.